Alrighty, hey guys, and we are back. I want to call this part three, but more information on the rebellions. I just posted, not just posted. You probably seen a video of obviously me going over the first page of this thread right over here a couple days ago. Then me going over the next couple of pages. Had a lot of dev replies, a lot of more useful information about rebellions, and now we're gonna go through the last couple of pages. We have some more dev replies, and yeah, let's do it. So last episode, I'm gonna. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna link this down below if you guys want to go check it out. And yeah, so last episode we we bumped into this fella right over here, and that's kind of how we ended with him being kind of upset with the new feature. Um, I'm just gonna keep this on the screen right here for a second for anybody who wants to pause and look at this, but I'm not going to mention him anymore because, as you can clearly see, he's just mad to be mad. And if you watch the other video, you can see I already said my piece about it. I think people should be more less negative. I think people should be a lot less negative, and it'll be better for their mental health. But let's read the devs, let's read some replies, and let's get some information. Alrighty, so first developer makes a statement. We noticed that some players are using rebelled settlements as an exploit. Capturing the rebelled settlement allows player to have the settlements without war consequences to previous owner. Do you think this exploit is something we should try and fix, or is it good as it is? Okay, so what he's saying is, if you're currently, let's say let's say, for example, the Vlandians, one of their towns gets rebelled, and you reach it as, let's say you have nothing to do with the Vlandians. You don't even have your own kingdom in a way, right? But you take it over. You take over the rebelled settlement, and then the Vlandians don't go to war with you. Since you didn't attack the Vlandians, you attacked the rebels, they don't go to war with you. Now, what do I think should happen in this scenario? Why I think this is a particularly weird scenario, I think this is what should happen. Now, hear me out. I think there should be a new feature. I think that if you help them take a rebelled settlement back, I think you should meet with a leader, or you should get a notification on the right side of the screen that says, "Hey, thanks for taking this settlement back, but we need it back. We are willing to pay you said amount of money based on the prosperity of the town." You can base on whatever. This is how much money we'll pay you to give us the town back. If you don't accept this, we'll have to go to war and take it back. I think that would be the best feature, and I think this will give players a reason to be like, hey, let me go help against this rebellion, and I'll get paid for it. I think, best case scenario, I think that is a great thing to do, in my opinion. I think so. I think that's pretty solid. But let me know what you guys think about it. But all right, we have some. What's it called? We got some more questions about something called a loyalty drift, and then we have some dev responses. Okay, so first the player. Yes, what is and what drives loyalty drift? At developer, this seems to be a question on many players' mind. Can you please explain? Okay, so developer's going to explain what loyalty drift is. So loyalty drift and security drift are both passive effects of loyalty and security. I will refrain from giving numbers since they're subject to change at all times, but the main way of working is the following. For example, loyalty drift equals, in parentheses, target loyalty minus loyalty times drift coefficient. Loyalty is increased by loyalty drift every day. If loyalty drift is negative, then loyalty will decrease. Okay, so in a way, loyalty drift is literally just, it's a calculation. If it's positive, your loyalty is going to go up. If it's negative, your loyalty is going to go down. Very simple. Currently, target loyalty is always 50. Okay, so it's a constant 50, and drift coefficient is a constant as well. Basically, what drifts do is that if you have some loyalty changes, it balances around different numbers based on how large your loyalty changes. A more concrete example would be if you have 100 loyalty, you will have the maximum negative loyalty drift, and if you have 0 loyalty, you will have the maximum positive loyalty drift. Okay, so if you're all the way at 100, you're going to start decaying a little bit. If you're at a 0, you're going to start going up a little bit. Makes sense. All right. I was going to go back to the other guy's comment. I'm not going to say it. I want you to read this. I want you guys to read this, okay? I'm not going to say it out loud because I don't want to give too much more attention to it, but yikes. Okay, let's move on. I was going to say something about it, but we move on. Alrighty, so we have another dev response. So at this person posting right over here. Actually, last week, looks like these are 2 developers. Yep, 2 developers told me capturing rebel towns is started to be a common player tactic, and it could be good to add a new rule there. Yes, new rule there. That's what I'm talking about. We made some decisions and cannot decide what's best for the game, so I advise to ask players and collect information. We have 3 choices. Leave like current state, not asking player anything, and no penalty with old owner. No, I don't think that should be like that. Asking player to keep or give fief back. If player keeps relationship loss with previous owner. Asking player to keep or give fief back. If player keeps war with previous owner. It seems that my 2 choices is 2. It seems that my choice is 2, which is asking player to keep or give fief back if player keeps relationship loss with previous owner. However, it is good to collect what the players think what is best for gameplay. We need some positive. If we give it back, it needs to be something more than relationships. That's boring. It doesn't hold much value right now. It might hold more in the future, but right now it doesn't. It needs to give it some monetary value. Same way as if you were... So we obviously have the feature of trading fiefs. We have that feature. So I think it would make sense that, ask the player to keep or give the fief back. If the player decides to keep it, go to war. That makes perfect sense. You know what I mean? It was rightfully your location or your fief, right? I said location. Your settlement or fief. And if someone else takes it, you give them the option of, hey, we're going to give you this amount of money. It could be 10%. It could be 20% of the cost to buy the actual fief. We're going to give you this amount to give it back. If you don't accept it, we will go to war. I think that's the best option, but we shall see. What else we got? Don't know if relationships affect change for war declarations right now. Okay, this is a player talking, by the way. And then we have a dev response. So player goes, don't know if relationships affect chance for war declaration right now. But if yes, would it be good to give a penalty in relationship with the faction or ruling clan if it's relationship that matters of the previous owner? Whoa, what is being said right here? Let me reread the whole thing. This was just confusing. Don't know if relationships affect chance of war declaration right now, but if yes, would be good to give a penalty in relationship with the faction of the previous owner of the fief too, so they would have increased chance of declaring war on the player, but give you a bit of time to prep for it. Okay, so this is a response to obviously the options here of what to do. And developer says, yes, it does have an effect on war declarations, your relationship obviously. However, effect is less currently. Actually, while offering option 2, I said to them, I can increase effect of relationship on wars also. Exactly. Like I stated, relationships do not hold much value right now. Barely any value. Like it's meh. It's like the only relationships that matter is like with nobles because you can get better troops. But other than that, your relationships are kind of... It's very hard to calculate what they really do. It's all speculation at this point on the player side. So you got to make relationships stronger if that's what you're offering. Because if I take over a town and all I get is plus 20 relationship with the king or whatever, it's like, cool, what do I do with that? It's not paying any of my bills. It's not giving me income. What is that doing for me? You know what I mean? That's why I offered the monetary value if you give the fief back, because that's actually something that you can use. As in relationships currently are just not there. But if they do increase the effect of relationships on wars, so let's say, for example, if you have very, 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 very good relationship with the king or the ruler of a kingdom, to the point where they won't ever make a war with you or even consider voting, to have a war against you, then fine, that makes sense. I think that's worth a town. Giving one town to just, make sure we're cool for a long time, that's fine. But right now, giving a town for some imaginary number, not imaginary, but kind of pointless number to go up is a terrible trade, in my opinion. All right, do you have any more dev replies? I think that might be it. Yep, that is going to do it. It's going to be kind of a shorter video, but yeah, listen, again, these options right here, here's my stance. This is probably what's going to happen. I think this is probably what's going to happen, which is asking player to keep or give fief back. If player keeps, there's a relationship loss with the previous owner. That's probably what might happen. What I do wish happens really is if player decides to keep, then a war starts. Again, it makes sense. But if a player gives back the fief, there should be, I'm going to double down, there should be a relationship increase and also a monetary amount of dinars. You know what I mean? There should be a good amount of dinars. Since Since the game has implemented how much certain fiefs cost, I would suggest to make it 10% of the fief cost. Is what the kingdom is going to offer you. And what would be also cool, I think would be very cool, is if we could implement some kind of speech checks. So if you have very, very, very high charm, you can ask for more, and then that can turn into 15%. I think that would be a very cool perk. But I think that would be the best case scenario. I know you might be like, oh, well, the money might get screwed up. Well, how about we do this? How about instead of the 10% all out just right away, it hits the bank account, right? It's a huge deposit right away. How about we make it a tribute payment? Or in the form of a tribute payment, where let's say you take over a settlement. Let's say the settlement's worth 240,000 dinars. Or, that's probably way too low. Let's say it's worth 2.4 million. That's around there, right? So the kingdom offers to pay you 240,000. Now that's a lot. You don't want it right at once, right? Because that might ruin the economy or whatever. How about you do something along the lines of 1,000 a day or 700 a day for as ever long that the contract lasts. And during that contract, now hear me out. Oh, we're going full circle here. Now, during that tribute contract where they have to pay you back, they cannot start a war with you. So there goes your whole, war decisions and how it impacts war. So, just to reiterate, if you decide to give it back, they will give you 10 or 15%, whatever you guys want to choose, of the cost of the fee for settlement over amount of time per day as like a tribute. And during the contract amount or during the tribute amount, not the tribute amount, during the tribute time frame of paying back the full amount that they owe you, they cannot start a war with you. Boom, I solved it. But at the same time, you cannot attack them either. Boom. Case closed. I figured it out. I solved it. Listen, I think that is, in my opinion, the best solution. Again, maybe put it down more than 10. Make it 5%. How about that? That might be better. Make it 5%. Something around there. Just, make it substantial, but not too crazy. Because I understand maybe $250,000 over some time is kind of crazy. But something along those lines is, I think, what should happen. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. Let me know what you guys think. Ask me any questions and concerns. And like always, stay safe.